don't think that we really quite comprehend how safe we are.
Coming up on OU Nightly, a local pastor returns home after being in Israel when the war broke out. A live report ahead. Plus, it's homecoming week at OU. We have a look at the events happening and big changes to Norman bus routes. Find out what's changed. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Mecca Thompson. We begin tonight with the latest on the war in Israel. Here's what we know right now. The Pentagon says 2,000 U.S. troops are on preparation to deploy to the Middle East. The service members would likely be placed in neighboring countries to support Israel. This news comes as rockets continue to be fired in the region. During at least 2 of those attacks, the State Department says U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was forced to head to a bomb shelter along with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Associated Press says at least 4,000 people are dead and another 200 are being held hostage.
The effects of the war in Israel are being felt back here at home, too. A pastor from Blanchard, Oklahoma, about 15 miles west of campus, just got back to Oklahoma today. OU Nightly's Noah Mack is live at the church in Blanchard to share the pastor's story. Noah?
Well, yeah, the pastor here at Hillside Church just got back from Israel, and he's seeing his life in a new lens.
Thousands of miles away, war is tearing people's lives apart in Israel. And in the small, quiet town of Blanchard, Oklahoma, a local pastor, still shaking off his jet lag, is reflecting on his experience there. Mark Dunning and his mission group witnessed missile exchanges in Jerusalem.
Every morning we got up, we had to call and just see where we could go, what we could do.
The rest of his trip in Israel was marred with a new level of uncertainty.
Very unsettling because of the unknown.
On Saturday, Mark made it back to Oklahoma, back to the familiar.
I think it took me about 30 seconds to go to sleep.
Back in his own bed, Mark gleaned a new perspective on his life in the United States.
I don't think that we really quite comprehend how safe we are.
And one thing that remains on Mark's mind are all of the families still trapped in the middle of this bloody conflict.
My heart really goes out to them.
Mark says he wants to see his country do something to help these innocent people.
Be as quick as we can to be able to get out as many of those Americans and as many of the Palestinians and as many of the Israelis that want out, that want out, and to get all the help that we can to help them get out.
For now, Mark is savoring the life he has back here just a bit more than when he left it.
Yeah, Mark tells me that he's still in contact with a lot of people he knows back in Israel. Reporting live from Blanchard, Oklahoma, Noah Mack, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Noah. The city of Norman is implementing new bus routes and opening a new transit center on Comanche Street. 51 bus stops were retired while 59 new ones were added. The new routes are bi-directional, meaning buses are hitting each stop twice as often as they were before.
Changing to this bi-directional route program gives us the opportunity to add additional routes that increase the area that we serve.
For information on the changes, download the Embark Norman app.
And if you're out at the bus stop this afternoon, it's a little chilly out there.
Yeah, it is, but we may end up trading our sweatshirts for short sleeves by the end of this week. OU Nightly meteorologist Sam Patterson joins us now with a first look at our forecast.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We started this morning temperatures near 40 degrees. Thankfully, warmed up not too bad. 63 here in Norman right now, 61 Oklahoma City. The rest of us across the state, pretty much the same. A little bit warmer out in the Panhandle, but these winds are not helping at all. Thankfully, they are out of the south, so it's a little bit warmer. It's still 8 to 10, 5 to 10 miles per hour from the south. Coming up in weather, we're going to talk about our midweek warm-up. We're going to have warmer weather beyond that. And of course, as fall's getting started, I'll have your first look or another look at your fall foliage update.
Thanks, Sam. There's a sign, or rather many signs, that homecoming week has begun. OU Nightly's Ben Dacu is live on the South Oval with more.
An artistic flair has livened up the South Oval today as many student organizations have placed Homecoming Week boards out on the grass. This year's theme, Game On.
We kind of had first pick, and we felt like we could get the most creative with Super Mario, so that's how we came to our conclusion, and we decided to pull through with it, and I'm satisfied with all three designs so far.
It was kind of just like first come, first serve, and it was just one of our options that we had, and then by the end of it, it was like, oh, this is kind of just what we get. But it honestly has turned out so well. It's such a good theme to work with.
The results are nice to look at, but how much work goes into getting these signs made?
A lot of behind the scenes stuff of communicating with each other and just like spatting out all these ideas and just narrowing it down to one, but just like really creative minds like these girls, like they came up with some really cool ideas.
The building process, I did this exact same thing last year. We just followed the requirements. Yes, it was a hassle, but I'm satisfied with the way it got put together, and hopefully we can do good in the rankings for board competition.
So the signs are built and subsequently placed where the entire student body can see them. But what's the goal here?
Of course, it's to win, but it's also to represent how much OU students just take priority in homecoming, and how we just resemble the spirit here, and just the camaraderie, and just the celebration of what this weekend means to everyone.
This is just day one. There will be a variety of events all week that culminate on Friday with the Raw Rally. Reporting live from the South Oval, Ben Dacu, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ben. A United States official says the U.S. still has no information about the handful of Americans taken by Hamas. OU Nightly's Abby Williams has the rest of today's international and national headlines from the News Center.
Spencer, Mecca, U.S. officials say they are operating under the belief that these hostages are not all in the same place. On Friday, President Joe Biden spoke with the families and pledged that he would do everything possible to bring them home. One woman says 6 of her family members remain missing. She was able to speak to them for just a few moments.
The last thing she said was, "We're not going to make it. We love you."
There is little information on the condition of these hostages. And in Chicago, the U.S. Justice Department opens a federal hate crime investigation into the murder of a 6-year-old boy. His landlord is under arrest after authorities say he killed the boy and severely wounded his mother because they are Muslim. Police say the boy was stabbed 26 times. He was laid to rest today. Republican Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio just won support of several key skeptics in the Republican conference. There is a planned floor vote Tuesday. If Jordan cannot secure enough support to win the vote, Republicans would be back at square one. The House is currently on day 13 without a House Speaker. In Europe, there's a widespread rise in bed bugs. Travelers are concerned, and in Paris, people can even see them on public transit systems. Spencer, Mecca.
Thanks, Abby. Now, a slight relief in gas prices this past weekend.
How the war in the Middle East may impact your gas prices.
And Oklahoma's Housing Finance Agency is closing the Section 8 waiting list.
Hear how long the wait list has grown when OU Nightly returns. We continue to discuss the conflict in the Middle East. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine explains how this affects U.S. gas prices in today's Money Matters.
Spencer, Mecca, gas prices are going down despite tension in the Middle East. Oil prices rose after Hamas's initial attack on Israel 10 days ago. AAA reports that the national average for unleaded gas fell about 3 cents from Friday. The head petroleum analyst for Gas Buddy says that if violence doesn't spread further into the Middle East, gas prices will continue to fall. And the strike continues between UAW and the big 3 automakers. The executive chair of Ford, Bill Ford, just addressed the labor strikes. He says that the walkouts could affect the company's future investments and limit spending. That means American companies will start losing to overseas competition and leave Americans without jobs. Ford adds that the company is making record offers. The Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency just closed their Section 8 waiting list. The list is part of a voucher program that assists low-income families with rent. It's now over 2 years long with almost 17,000 people waiting, according to the Oklahoma Finance Agency. Oklahoma City is planning on putting $55.76 million to affordable housing options. But on the other hand, the Homeless Alliance says that shutting this waitlist down will cause even more homelessness issues. Spencer, Mecca.
Thanks, Kaylee. With fall in full swing, that means it's festival season. See the fun that brought families, kids, and the community together after the break.
Plus, we're feeling the breezy temperatures, but warm weather is on the horizon for later this week.
You got a warm week coming up ahead. I'll have your first look at the forecast for the week ahead after this. Well, a little bit on the chillier side today and over the last couple days as well. Live look, South Oval, University of Oklahoma here in Norman, Oklahoma. Of course, unfortunately, we are in fall, but not a whole lot of fall foliage for us. But we do have some fall-like temperatures. 63 right now, dew point nice and low, 36. That wind out of the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour is keeping it a little bit on the cool side as well. And throughout the month of October, we have been all over the place. Started off 5 straight days, temperatures upper 80s for the most part. We got around average of course being 73 degrees for the month of October. And then we got a little bit cooler into the weekend. We actually dropped below average. And then starting the next week again, above average 4 more days, about even. And then you can see where this cold front came in earlier this weekend. 69 on Friday, 63 on Saturday, 61 on Sunday. Unfortunately, we're going to go back to the warm side. First tonight, though, might want a few extra blankets. Low tonight at 42 degrees and mostly clear, so maybe you could see a few stars out there. Here's your planner, Tuesday planner. It's going to, again, start off nice and cool. Going to warm up towards 73, so you're probably going to want to shed that sweatshirt if you have a noon class. So unfortunately, if you're like me, you have a 9 a.m. and a noon, going to have to lose the sweatshirt in here at some point. Coming up, though, we do have fall foliage. Report just came out today. Taking a second to load there. You can see here in Norman, we're finally at those low levels. Unfortunately, we're nothing like the Pacific Northwest, though high to moderate or peak levels up there. So if you want to see any of those fall colors, you'll probably want to head up there to take a look at them. Here's our weather pattern coming up. We're going to be nice and cold for quite a while. You can see all the way down from Florida up towards Seattle. Unfortunately, we are in the warm sections. Blue meaning cooler, yellow to reddish. Those are our warmer temperatures. That's through Tuesday. As we head through Wednesday and Thursday, same story. Looks like we have a weak cold front coming in. Probably falls apart over the Rocky Mountains here out in Colorado. We're going to stay warm through Saturday. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit warmer for our game day. Monday, we might get a little bit of relief, probably 3 or 4 degrees, not much, unfortunately. Going through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, staying warm. We do have another cold front starting to build out towards the Pacific Northwest. We'll have to see if that comes in and gives us any sort of relief coming up. Now, next 7 days, Tuesday, 72, pushing 80s by Wednesday, Thursday. Friday and Saturday, temperatures up in the 80s. It's going to be a pretty decently windy Monday for you, temperatures in the 80s. So unfortunately, last weekend you basically had to have the coats if you went to Weatherfest. If you're going to the football game this week at 11 a.m. kickoff, probably do not need a sweatshirt, unfortunately.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing. The Sooners had a bye week last week, and now they're back in the Palace, and we're going to be melting at another 11 a.m. kickoff. Yep. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is.
Of course, the hottest part of the day. It's got to be out there for it.
Definitely going to have to plan my game day fit accordingly, maybe replacing those jeans with some shorts.
Shorts sound perfect.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. Every year, the National Weather Center hosts a festival that allows the community to explore the heart of meteorology. The festival took place last Saturday and attracted all kinds of people, including kids. There was a whole floor dedicated to getting kids involved in weather, and there was even had a band of weather, 15 weather-themed superheroes running around.
It's always really, really exciting to talk to those kids and to see that kind of like light go off in their eyes.
The hope is that kids were inspired by the festival. OU women's tennis brought home more hardware this afternoon.
And some former Sooners had a rough outing in the NFL on Sunday. OU Nightly Sports' Britton Ross has more in sports.
Thanks, ladies. The 7-time national champion OU softball team returns to play in Norman tonight. And OU football returns to action this week after a bye. I'll tell you what has OU fans up in arms and more next in sports. Hello, I'm Britton Ross, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma football had their bye week, but still lost to the Big 12 schedule makers. OU will host Central Florida this Saturday at 11 a.m. This makes their 5th confirmed 11 a.m. game and 2nd of 3 straight. This is a reunion game for Sooners quarterback Dylan Gabriel, as he played for UCF for 3 years before transferring to OU. After the Texas win, linebacker Danny Stutzman is just trying to stay focused.
Yeah, when you're winning games, it's easy to keep the morale up. Obviously, last year it was rough. Not a lot of guys that come to Oklahoma are used to losing some games like that. So it's really tough. Obviously now the challenge is to keep our composure. Stay focused. Keep attacking every single day like it's a do or die moment.
In the pros, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts had one of the worst games of his career on Sunday. The former Sooner threw 3 interceptions as the Eagles suffered their first loss of the season to the New York Jets 20-14. And Tampa Bay quarterback Baker Mayfield didn't play much better, throwing an interception and no touchdowns in Tampa's 20-6 loss to the Detroit Lions. And back on campus, the back-to-back-to-back national champions are playing at Marita Hines Field tonight. OU softball has an exhibition doubleheader against North Texas Central College at 6. OU continues their fall ball slate with another edition of the Oklahoma Battle Series on Wednesday. Patty Gasso says her team is just having fun.
It's excellence. It's excellence, and it's pushing for excellence. And with excellence, they have a great time. I don't know, it's just why I coach. It's why they love to play here, and why we get great recruits coming in as well. They can see it when they come in on visits or when they're here watching us play.
Oklahoma volleyball got swept in 3 sets to the 16th ranked Kansas Jayhawks on Saturday. Alexis Shelton and Taylor Preston led OU with 14 kills each. And switching courts, OU women's tennis duo Dana Guzman and Alina Sherbinina brought even more hardware back to Norman. The duo won the ITA Central Regional Double Championship over Oklahoma State this afternoon. And OU soccer has their senior night tonight at 7 at John Crane Field, hosting the 8th-ranked BYU Cougars. OU is looking for its first top 25 win under first-year head coach Matt Mott. And in the NBA, the OKC Thunder lost to the Charlotte Hornets in a preseason game, 117-115 last night. Spencer, Mecca, back to you.
Thanks, Britton. Definitely hoping that after this off weekend for football, hopefully they bring that energy.
I hope they do too. I have been so pumped ever since that huge OU Texas win. I plan to be at all the home games the rest of the season because I am just so excited for the Sooners and hope they can pull it through.
The homecoming week festivities kicked off today and continue throughout the week.
Hear how students are getting in the school spirit when OU Nightly returns.
I'm Chewy Dominguez at the OU Nightly Update Desk. An Edmond police officer is charged with first-degree manslaughter after police say she shot and killed her brother while she was off duty. According to court documents, Lieutenant Jennifer Haddock was in a heated exchange with her brother over furniture. This happened at their mother's apartment. Haddock tells investigators that her brother came at her aggressively and told her to shoot him. Mecca, Spencer?
Thanks, Chewy. As you were walking to class, you may have noticed the sidewalks being covered in chalk. OU students are taking advantage of the fall weather today and competing in the annual sidewalk drawing contest for homecoming.
The competition is just one of the many events going on this week, giving various student organizations and campus Greek life a chance to get involved. For a full list of homecoming events, visit OU Homecoming's Instagram page.
Walking to class, I didn't really see any of the chalk, but I will definitely be on the lookout for it tomorrow, and I'm sure with the nice weather we're having, it'll be beautiful.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the mums bloom on South Oval as well.
That's a good one as well. Now, the weather has brought its A game this past weekend, and we will be saying goodbye to those cooler temperatures.
Let's take one last look at our forecast for the rest of the week. Sam?
Yeah, unfortunately, started off pretty nice today, ended pretty nice. Temperatures throughout the next couple days staying around those 70s, 80s for your weekend. Homecoming game this weekend. It's going to be pretty warm. You might want to start out with sweatpants. You definitely will not want to end with sweatpants. Spencer, Mecca?
Thanks, Sam. Thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Mecca Thompson. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.